So it's interesting that you said earlier that when the clock was gone, you felt slightly uncomfortable, not knowing what the time is. That's
Where did the
interesting.
clock go?
Took it down.
Did you take it down?
Mariska did actually, but
Oh, cool.
just so because we don't need to be on world time right now.
I didn't even notice.
But Yasmin did.
Yeah.
I
Yasmin's
did
like, "What's going on? Where's the clock?"
Yeah.
You did? You
Yeah,
did?
yeah.
I was always going to go and get my cell phone so I could know what time it is.
So that's very. Can you turn that off? That's pretty wild, right? If you think about it, I think probably a lot of people are like that. They want to know what time it is. What do you think that is?
Anxiety?
Anxiety. Yeah. So it's anxiety to not know what time it is? Because why do you think you need to know what time it is?
Because I've been trained that way.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have that.
habit.
Yeah. I took a trip once. I traveled for, just ended up being like 13 months and just camped in all over like States and Canada, and the first 3 months there was no clock. No clock and no mirror actually for 3 months. So that was pretty wild to like be released from that, because that has a hold on us. The clock has a hold on us.
And then what happened after the third month? The clock handed me over back.
Yeah, well then we went, I think it was after 3 months we decided to get a hotel and have have like a real shower and watch some television.
So what you look like in the mirror.
Different. Yeah, longer hair and skinnier.
It reminds me of a conversation I had with some coworkers about the time before clocks were invented and before the light bulb, and how our, I guess, humans' lifestyle is completely different. So like you wouldn't sleep in one stretch at night. Like there were different like breaks to sleeping, but so like there'd be 2 breaks of sleeping where you'd sleep from, I don't know, sundown to like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then 3 to like 5 was like quality time with the family, and then you go back to sleep again.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, but it's kind of faded from our consciousness because light's just become such a ingrained part of culture, and so we don't. It's not something that people write about. So it's not in any history books or anything like that. But I think there's like very like limited information out there that points to that. So.
That's very interesting, because when we do there's a thing that certain practice that you do a month-long retreat, and what you end up doing is you get up before sundown, but often it's you get up at 4 in the morning, and your first meditation is at 4 in the morning, and then your next one is at like around 10, and there's one around when is it, like 4? Yeah, and then there's one before bed. But depending on where you are, it's supposed to be to the cycle of the sun. But it's specifically geared because there are certain times of the day when the energies are different, and so you're different and your experience is different. So it's pretty wild to be getting up and you kind of break sleep and you're in a kind of different state, and then your meditation, and often they're like a 2-hour meditation, so is much different than the meditation that you do like at 4 o'clock, say. So I'm wondering if that is in tune with that, where people were just awake at that time and enjoyed each other at that time. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, before lights and before all the scribes that just like by candlelight like wrote out things, and they made a mistake where they start over or something. I don't know, just letter by letter, and now it's inconceivable that to even get asked to do that would be like a criminal offense or something. It'd be like torturing somebody to ask them to write a whole page out. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Anybody have any questions you'd like to ask at this point? telling.
Oh, I see.
That's funny. Okay, well, I guess it's meditation o'clock. Let's do a meditation. Tune in to the last session, just like a string. Just pull yourself back to that echo of the last session. See if you can sink back into that place of the heart and the third eye. You can hook into it. Unimpeded, raw consciousness doesn't require anything. There's no requirements. It is the seat of your contentment. If it can be accessed in the space between. The space between everything. The pause between two thoughts. The very thing that fills your body between the atoms. In your mind's eye, see yourself sitting in a beautiful field of flowers. A very perfectly warm day. The ground is warm underneath you. The green grass is inviting. Sky is a beautiful blue, cloudless. And in front of you, directly in front of you, is the most beautiful flower. It just arrived for you. It's just hello. Just the flower that you would see, that you would like to see. Now, see yourself looking at the flower. And just for the sake of this meditation, looking at it with eyes that are identifying it as a flower. You are a flower. Seeing the petals, the center where the petals burst out of, the stem, the leaves it may have. And now see yourself looking at the spaces between the petals. The space around the leaves. And you've forgotten that this is a flower, or that you've seen it as a specific flower. Maybe you even had a name for this flower. You start to get a sense that this flower is an expression of something. There's some force that's there that wants to be expressed, wants to greet you, wants to meet with you. wants to commune with you. And that the idea of it being a certain flower was preventing this from happening. And you start seeing like the spaces between everything in this flower. Until even the petals begin to break apart. And you begin to see this force that's there, communing with you. And this flower that you previously saw was just an expression of this